Hey guys, and welcome back to Kisima. You're wondering well to be equipped, encouraged, and ignited in God's Word. So here we are, another week. This is week 10, y'all. I can't imagine this has been going on for 10 weeks. It feels like it's been going on for much longer, but also like for much, much shorter too. But it's just awesome to know that this journey is still ongoing and it's still like in line with my obedience, just in knowing kind of what's on my heart and what I'm called to do, purposed to do. But anywho, so earlier this week I posted after we revealed the panel or some of the people on the panel at the conference, just underneath that I talked a little bit about how, there's like this conspiracy that's working in our favor around anytime we start putting action. Well, actually, every time we start putting words to our dreams, when we verbalize them and then we put action towards them, everything in this earth conspires in your favor to get it done. What do I mean by that? Like, we know that the Bible talks about there is power of life and death in the tongue. So anytime you verbalize something, you put it, you speak it into existence, or you've released something, whether it's good or bad, and everything around you, including yourself, is conspiring to work towards that. So if you're saying that, oh my gosh, let me say some of mine, because my coach called me out on it. I was like, oh my gosh, going back to school is going to be so hard because my master's degree was so difficult because I was working almost full-time, going to school full-time. I was in ministry full-time. I was also doing like an internship full-time. So it was just like, oh my gosh, I had all these things going on and I still had a hard time. And now I have a business, I have a husband, I'm working full-time, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's going to be that much harder. If that's the mindset I'm working towards, then yes, it's going to be that much harder. It's going to feel like torture. It's going to feel like I'm being punished for something. While the opposite is also true. This is a dream and a desire that I want, that I said I wanted to pursue, that I like applied for and I'm working towards. So why would I, in aspiring to achieve a major dream and goal, frame it in a way that it seems like it's going to be torture, but also frame it in a way like the past is automatically going to be recreated in the future? Says who? Like, I am in charge of my experience. I am in charge of looking at it as torture or looking at it as, oh my gosh, I am working towards my dream. How blessed am I? How awesome is this? How amazing is it to just have this opportunity, period. Right? So I will manifest it either as like something that is dreadful, or I will manifest it as something that is an amazing opportunity to learn, to expand my understanding, my repertoire as a clinician, all this stuff. So there, like we talked about holding the dialectic in the previous videos, this is exactly what's happening. But then you have to kind of acknowledge that yes, it might come with struggles, but it doesn't mean it's going to be awful, it's going to be torturous, or it's going to be unmanageable just because my previous experience seemed one way. Because I've evolved as a person, I've evolved as a clinician, I have evolved as somebody who's able to handle this responsibility. So why would I think that it would manifest in, and how the person that I was back then, in the same kind of struggle? No, I'm not the same person I was 4 years ago. I'm not the same person that I was 2 years ago. I'm not the same person that I was 1 week ago. So I can't frame my experience in the future just based on only what I've had in the past. No, but right now I have better decision-making power. I have a better mindset. I have a better viewpoint, and therefore it will not be the same way as it was before. I refuse to feel as exhausted, as overwhelmed, as tortured as I did in my previous program, because that's the mindset I had. Right now I am just blessed to know like it's an amazing opportunity that I have before me, and I will maximize it to the fullest. I will learn, I will read, I will spend time, I will use my support network if I need help with anything, especially my husband. My husband. I'm still high on being married, y'all. But yeah, it doesn't have to be the same. So anyway, and just going back about conspiring. So I'm coming up to 1 year at my job, and so far, even before I launched Kisima, like earlier this year, like after Trump's presidency, there was like during the issue with the ban and the wall, there was a no ban no wall rally at my job at NYU, and I was one of the counselors who went to represent the counseling center. You know, if anybody during this gathering was experiencing any kind of emotional distress, it was my role to kind of, you know, support, comfort, talk about resources, but also just in general let the audience know like we are available to discuss these issues because they come with so many mixed feelings, and so many people are impacted directly, indirectly. Everybody gets impacted differently, but it can get really overwhelming for some. And if you don't have a support network, or you prefer a professional support network for ambiguity, confidentiality, absolutely. Not ambiguity, objectivity, excuse me, and confidentiality, you know, just going to share that. But I got to meet with one of the chaplains who, like, the Christian campus clubs coupled with the Jewish campus clubs and the Muslim campus clubs came together to organize that rally. So it was just awesome to see collaboration at that level. But that same day, just so happened to run into the chaplain who was like, "Oh my gosh, can you come speak to our InterVarsity chapter about like faith and mental health colliding?" Now, this is something that even before Kisima was launched, but because I had started to put work into it, the opportunity chased me down. And last week, Friday, also had an opportunity again on campus, just randomly. They were like, "We want a woman of color to come speak about anxiety." And I'm one of the few women of color at the counseling center. And it just so happened that, you know, my supervisor asked me, like, you know, I'd shared my interest in wanting to do these kinds of events, but the moment that I opened my mouth and I made it clear, opportunities start to chase me down. And it was just amazing to connect with those women this past Friday. It's called the Quiet Girl Collective. It's just such an awesome movement that's happening on campus. I'm like, I wish we had that during my on-campus years. But just to be able to sit and talk about how anxiety can impact us in our day-to-day around just being women of color, around being students, around like expectations and culture and family of others, of ourselves, which ones are realistic, which ones are unrealistic, which ones are manageable, unmanageable, what is healthy anxiety, what has crossed over into like clinical or diagnosable anxiety, and kind of what kind of resources are available. But it's just awesome to see all these things happening. And then this conference that's coming up, which I'm super, super duper excited about, is another opportunity. And like, not just in opportunities being opened up, but even my understanding and my belief in that I was built for more. And like, I got this, like, this is where I am meant to be. So just remembering that, like the word said, all things work together for our good. Everything is conspiring together for your good. Good might not always look like what we visualize it to be, but just trust and believe it'll work out exactly how it needs to be. Sometimes our thinking is so small, it's in a box that we cannot think outside of that box. So in our visualization of what good looks like, it might not match how things come out to be, but just trusting the process, trusting the journey, and trusting the God who covers you to manifest it in that way. Because like, no good thing will he withhold from those who love him, like those who are obedient towards him. So if you are purposed with a dream and a vision, once you verbalize it and make it manifest, like, it's so good to say, like, I want to be a entrepreneur, I want to be my own boss. And those are things that before I couldn't even say. It was like, I'm gonna write it down in my journal and hopefully that's good enough. But now it's like, no, I will declare it boldly, because I trust and believe that even though I feel like I am not equipped, the Bible talks about how those who are chosen, like, they are equipped for whatever they're chosen for. And if this is what in my heart of hearts I know for sure I am chosen for, then I am equipped to handle it, and the provision will come as I go. Like I talked about, I am more mature than I was before. I'm better able to handle this journey right at this moment, because I have been equipped through my life journey, through my experiences, through my evolution of self, through my evolution in my relationship with the Lord, through my evolution with relationship with my family, my friends, and even now digging into working with a coach who was just like, girl, you have so many limiting beliefs, let's fix those. So that they don't impact or hinder your purpose, but also your ability to view and believe that those things are possible. So all that rambling to just get to the conclusion of trust and believe that everything is conspiring in your favor. Trust and believe that all things work together for your good. Trust and believe you have power and authority to declare what you want. If you're able to visualize it, speak it. If you're able to speak it, start working towards it. The rest will come as you go. I have talked about that so many times here that just starting to do videos, I was so nervous. Like, you can even tell in how I spoke before the camera, week 1 compared to now at week 10. As I keep going, I keep getting more confident and more assured in what I'm doing. People are giving feedback like, oh, we get an echo, or oh my gosh, it's so nice to feel like I'm sitting in front of you and like getting some kind of therapy, or just, it doesn't matter. All feedback has been amazing. Thank y'all so much. Like, I'm working so hard to continue evolving. Like, even in like, okay, so far this is all I can manage in terms of like editing apps. Like, okay, how can I invest in better apps to have better quality videos? But it's like, I started, I am doing it regardless. Nobody can say that I have not been working hard towards my dreams, my goals, and vision. It's the same for you. Like, I talked about the comparison game too in an earlier video around, it's so easy to compare yourself to somebody who's doing the same thing as you, but has been doing it for years. They've already done their evolution. They've already like had resources chase them down. Like, they are in a good place. They are have so much more knowledge and experience in doing what they've been doing. But you're starting out and you're comparing yourself to that person. Of course you're gonna feel discouraged, but go back and look at their beginning. Like, look at who, like Morgan Freeman. He was like, he started acting at like his 30s. Like, there are people who are in their teens and early 20s who are already aspiring to become those kinds of actors. But we know him now in his later years as this well-known actor. But I don't remember him in his 30s. Like, and that's okay. It didn't change that his opportunities aligned in order, and he is now well known. But Denzel, same thing. Like, he didn't start, he was a high school dropout. Like, I was listening to his story recently, but look at him now. So yeah, just be mindful of what you expose yourself to and what you compare yourself to. Nobody's journey. You should not compare yourself to anybody's journey but yourself. Aspire to be better than who you were yesterday, and aspire to be better tomorrow than you were today. But not to be like, oh my God, I wish I was like so-and-so because they look like they've got it together. You don't know their struggles, and you don't know like the amount of work that they put in the past for years before you knew them, to get to the place they are today. Okay, so just be encouraged with that, and until the next video, again, I love getting feedback from you all. I like when you comment, when you subscribe, when you share. It's been awesome to just see how much support is out there from people I know, people I don't know. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.